Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Ramola D Reports. I'm here today with two very important guests, Moira and Sue, who are the coordinators and leaders of the Beechholme Warriors, a group that is speaking out about child abuse and seeking to inspire and help children who are suffering in situations of abuse. So I'm so grateful to you both, Moira and Sue, for coming forward this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ramola. It's nice to meet you. And myself and Sue like to say thank you for having us on your broadcast.
You're very welcome. I'm so delighted to have you here and, eager to hear the whole story, even though I understand there are parts of it, obviously, that would be very difficult to speak about. But, we're open to you speaking about what you wish to speak about, what you wish to bring forward today.
Okay.
So maybe we can start just with Beechholme Warriors, your group. When did you start it? How did it get started? And are you the ones currently running it?
We are. Yes, we are. It started about April.
On the 12th of May we started it.
Yeah.
We belong to another group called Beechholme Survivors, but the
person who started running it actually disappeared for a while and wouldn't speak to anyone about what was happening and why he wasn't getting involved. But me and Sue felt that we could carry it on until he came back, but he never came back. And we used to go out every month with decency, and so we were speaking to Jeff, and we didn't want to give up because it's an important issue to us. So,
and I should just to interject, Moira, very briefly, when you say decency, you mean the group that Jeff Godwin is running?
Yes, I do. Yes, that's it.
Brilliant. And he's the one, of course, who brought us together and who introduced me to you.
Yes, he is. He is. And he was saying that we could do it ourselves. We were unsure, weren't we? And Sandy said it. And we were unsure. But it's so important that we need to get it out there. So we decided, yes, we would have a go. And we would try and get it out there, didn't we?
So we started Beechholme Warriors, and obviously me and Moira admin, and quite a few people from the other group followed us and came with us, and we had, I mean, it's been amazing the amount of support we've been given by
in the
other
last
groups.
few months.
It's, just over a month, we've got 70 followers. And they, it's just an amazing feeling to have that many people support you and going out for the same cause that you're going out on.
And are these supporters, or are they people also from the home that you went to, or?
A mixture of both, actually.
Mixture.
And we had groups like up in Scotland called a group called Warriors, who
another children's home.
It was another children's home where severe abuse went on, and they're absolutely amazing. That group, they've supported us all the way through, and they help us. Obviously, me and Moira didn't have a clue on how to run a group or anything, and they've been brilliant. As is like Brian Clare, John Wedger.
Jeff Godwin.
Whistleblowers, yes.
They really are helping us to get the word out and to keep us going as well. They're saying, well done, let's go. And we're actually decided we've got letterheads now with our logo on it, with mine and Sue's name, and we've got a Beechholme website. And we're just doing bits and pieces as much as we can.
We're writing.
We're writing. I've wrote to Wandsworth and asked them what are they going to do about this, and they said it can take up to 4 weeks to have a reply from them, which I think is dreadful. But we are slugging away. But it's just what's the next step?
Do you see the logo that I brought up?
That's our logo, Beechholme Warriors. It's not all there, is it?
Let me go further down. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
We're fighting, yeah, for truth and justice.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I see. It's not displaying properly.
No, it's not. But it is Beechholme Warriors fighting for truth, fighting for justice. Not just children, in the children's home, it's for all children of abuse, for children not to live in fear of abuse. Whether we will see that in our lifetime, I don't know. But we would like to, and, you know, for the survivors to get justice.
Mm-hmm.
And to help the children that are being abused now.
Yeah.
In the hope that if they see us out, whatever, that they will come forward, they will ask
or maybe
for help.
just tell someone, hopefully, and get the word out that they are being abused. Because like us, we never had anyone to tell. We had social workers, but they only told them every 6 months, and they were for the side of Beechholme. They weren't for us. We couldn't go and tell them, you know, this uncle hit us, or this auntie hit us, or this uncle hit me till I wet the floor. We couldn't tell them that.
And also in them days, you know, parents were allowed to smack their children, and you used to get good IDs and what have you. So it's a normal thing in every household. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think what you are doing is absolutely commendable, and almost everybody listening to you will probably feel the same. It's extraordinary that you're stepping forward to speak out for kids today, and it's wonderful that this other group in Scotland is helping you as well. So that almost suggests a kind of a new kind of network that you are creating, right, of child protectors.
Yeah, because we've got the chain around that.
That's linking all of us.
The more
together.
Groups we get together, the stronger our links go in that chain, and the stronger we stand against.
Absolutely brilliant. So that's like a new chain of real human rights protectors and child protectors, etc. And we'll talk shortly about the child protection services, because I know that's a big portion of the story. But one of the questions I had that I think people might be interested in hearing about is, now you yourselves experienced abuse and all sorts of horrific situations in a home, in a children's home that was run by the government?
It was run by councils. We were from Kensington and Chelsea Council.
Yeah,
Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. So we was put in the home by them. Now, whoever run it before, I'm not sure. But from
London County Council had it until 1964.
1964, and then Wandsworth Council took over the whole of it.
Okay. So when you are speaking now for children who have suffered similar abuse, are you trying to help mainly the children in homes today, or are you sort of generally keeping it as an open focus for everybody?
There aren't many children's homes open now.
No,
oh, okay.
Foster care.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, if there are children's homes out there still open, then we're reaching out to them as well. We're reaching out to every child who's scared or suffering.
Yeah.
You know.
Wonderful. You're creating a sort of a safe space or a sanctuary for these children to come to if they are in those bad situations, right?
Yes.
Now, normally speaking, children who are in bad situations, what happens to them in our world today? Do you want to address that?
Well, they run away if they're having trouble. They get put into, people manipulate them. They're being abused. They are being groomed. Yeah. They are being used as drug barons to deliver drugs up and down the country, because, as we know, children in homes are a commodity that can be got rid of. You know, nobody is checking on them. And this needs to be highlighted, and we need to make sure that these people that are supposed to be looking after them will carry on looking after them. And if children are running away, let's put a red marker there and say, look, why is running away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, a lot of children, not all of them, haven't got any parents. They've got nobody.
Yeah.
So if anything happens to them, who cares?
No,
because
right.
they've got no family to care about them.
Mm.
And
Yes.
obviously, the authorities, they don't care about them. They're just a child in wherever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they could disappear and no one would care.
Well, it's happening.
It is
And this
happening.
is happening both in the US and the UK and in Canada and in other countries. Children are disappearing and there's no trace of them left in the social services.
That's it. That's it.
And why? Because all the top hierarchy are using them. And because they're up there in government, judges, policemen, what can you do?
As we know by Cyril Smith, Ted Heath, they just did what they liked to the children and they didn't get taken. Jimmy Savile, there's loads of people. I mean, you know, it's just crazy.
Yeah, you know, we spoke yesterday a little bit, and as you know, I have spoken earlier to John Wedger, who is a police whistleblower and with the London Metropolitan Police, and he's working currently with Jeff Godwin, I understand, with decency.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Helping with these issues, bringing them to the fore, etc. One of the things he said was precisely what you were saying, that it's the care system. When kids get picked up by social services, removed from their homes, often for no good reason.
I was going to say that.
Right, and then thrown into the foster care system, given to foster parents who are highly dubious people, right, who end up pretty much trafficking these kids and selling them into prostitution.
That's right. Yeah. There's no body looking into these people and saying, are they the right people to have children? Are they any good?
So that foster system is part of the child protection system, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is.
You know, it's part of social services and it's all interlinked, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, when I got my grandchildren, the rigmarole that I went through and the interviews that I had to get my own grandchildren was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You
now,
know,
you actually, Sue, shall we at this point perhaps dive into your story a little bit, and then we'll come to Moira and back again, perhaps. So you say you've gotten custody of your grandchildren. So were they also in a situation of abuse?
Yes, they were. This was 2000. I got my eldest granddaughter in custody of her in 2002. And then in 2004, I got custody of my two grandsons. I mean, my granddaughter's 25 now. George is nearly 20. And the other one, I can say his name.
Oh, okay.
But this one is 22. Who,
physically abused.
Yeah, he was so badly abused physically. And
mentally.
Yeah, mentally as well. As Moira knows, he doesn't come out of his room.
He stays in there.
He stays in his room. He comes out for his food.
And that's
he
it.
won't go back upstairs.
You won't see him.
And you don't see him.
No.
How old is he?
He's 22 in October. He's a lot calmer now. He used to be so violent. I mean, he'd beat me up. He'd hit his brothers, his sisters, cousins.
He was angry.
Because of what he experienced.
We were angry like that. And kids that have been hurt are angry.
Yeah.
You know, at the whole world, basically, because of it. Yeah.
You know, when he was 13, he slept in my room. And every night I would get the same questions from him. Nan, why did my mum let him do that to me?
Oh.
Why? And every night I had this question. And I said to him, I don't know, love. I said, but you're safe now. It's not going to happen to you now. But you know, I had to sleep with a machete under my pillow because he was petrified his stepfather was going to come and get him.
He's still got it.
I've still got it, yeah.
He has?
No, he's got his sword. But he was
on his direction, he wanted you to sort of be armored or, you know, to have defense.
Yeah. And, you know, it's heartbreaking.
It is,
and to see him now, you know, but when we can talk to him, me and his brother, well, he's got an amazing sense of humour when we can get it out of him.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not very often, and to get him out of, you know, even he's getting his hair cut. I have to go with him. When he's had counselling before now, I have to do the talking, and they will say to him, "Is that right?" And he will say yes. You know, the damage.
You're saying the damage is extensive. It reaches into time. You know, it scars people well beyond those childhood years.
Oh, definitely, definitely, Ramola. It doesn't leave you. It just stays in the back until something triggers it off.
And I think that because we really didn't have anyone to bother about us, we've had to deal with it different to the way he has, because people care for him.
Yeah.
So, you know, but we didn't have that. So we become stronger in that way.
And somehow you have managed to come through. You know, Sue, listening to your own story, and you showed me the little bit that Anna Breeze had done recently on your life story. Did you want to touch on that? How you went into the home when you were very little? How old were you when you went into the home?
Well, she got the age a bit wrong there, and my mum actually died when I was 5. So I was about 6 or 7. I was actually living with my maternal grandparents, and my brothers had gone into a home, and I missed my brothers, and I wanted to be with them, and I was playing my grandparents up. So I got put into Beechholme, and I was with 2 of my brothers in one of the houses. My older brother was in a different house, so I suppose I was mother to the twins, because they was only 3 at that time when I went there, and you know, they wanted me to do everything for them. So, you know,
You were together? The twins were your brothers?
Yeah, my brothers, my younger brothers, and I have an older brother, and he was in a totally different house. But he was very, very protective of us, very protective. But he left the home at 14. He got taken out to live with an aunt of mine, of ours, and it was just left me and the twins were all together. And I'd been in 3 different houses in the home. The second house we was in, I was getting bullied. I was nearly, you know, they tried to suffocate me. And to this day, I have to have a machine now because I stopped breathing. And this was because I used to snore. I had trouble with my adenoids, and because I snored, 2 of them, they were older than me, came in, put their hands over my mouth and nose while I was asleep, and I was petrified to go to sleep because I didn't know when I was going to get it. And then I transferred out of that house and went into, unfortunately, the house where all the abuse took place. And I think I was 13 or 14. And obviously me and Moira, we've been friends since primary school, and we went to high school together. And we was always running away, regular, you know. I mean, we did. Shepherd's Bush Police Station had a cell for, you know, we used to walk in the police station, they put the countertop up for us to walk through. That's how popular we were there, you know. But when I went into this other house and the abuse started, everybody was frightened of these house parents, you know, the dreaded Greys. And he wasn't, Mr. Grey wasn't a house parent. His wife was a house mother. He went out to work. So he was actually nothing to do with looking after us. But the the abuse started not just with me. It started. I didn't realise it was actual abuse until years later, and the faces of these two little boys still haunt me. Was a little boy, two little boys, they were 2 and 4 years old, and they were little black boys. They came down every morning carrying their wet sheets, and he would be hitting them, and the look on them little boys' faces, it still, as I say, haunts me. And he used to make them wash their sheets, and he would be hitting them. Who was he to hit them boys? 2 and 3 years old, but 4 years old. There was no need for that.
Terrible.
They did that, didn't
But
they?
they did do that.
Yeah.
And as I say, I didn't know that it was abuse at the time, but it used to really upset me. And you know, and I can still see them faces, and then the abuse started on me, and you know, I'd be in bed, and I slept on my stomach, you know, obviously.
I did actually.
And one night I woke up and my back was being struck, but I wasn't sort of awake enough to realise at the time. And then all of a sudden I realised. And I got up and he was trying to put his hand down my pyjamas. And I told him to get out. And he told me to shut up, and he got up and went out. And this happened quite a few times. He kept trying it on with me and coming in when I was asleep. And during this time in the house, I'd been put on medication. And I never knew, well, they said it was my periods. But I didn't have trouble in that department, so I don't know.
So they had put you on medication despite the fact that you were fine?
Yeah.
And they didn't tell you, and you don't really know what it was?
No, I can't. For the life of me, I cannot remember what it's called. They gave it to me. I didn't have it.
What were the effects on you when you took it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't, because I took it at night, so maybe... as I say, when I was asleep, and
right, maybe to put you into a deeper sleep or something like that.
Yeah. But it, you know, obviously that first time it did, but after I sort of knew I'd wake up and tell him. And for some reason one night I woke up and I looked, and I was sharing with 2 sisters in the bigger dorm, and he was in the young girl's bed. She was 10. And I told him to get out.
God.
The next day, I took them 2 little girls up to the office, the main office, and I told Mr. Bruce what had happened. And the girls told him as well. We then were sent back to the house. Obviously, nothing got done then because it just, I suppose I had to discuss it. I fused it, I'll say, a week maybe, I don't know, I can't really remember, but I was going up the stairs in the house and he was coming down and he grabbed me by the throat and tried to throw me down the stairs, but I wasn't scared of him and I fought back with him, you know. And then I can't remember how long it was after, but my case was packed and I was collected by an uncle from the home, who then took me, and I was put in the mental hospital.
This happened directly after you spoke out?
Yeah, it was a few months after. I suppose they had to get things organised.
So they arranged for you to be moved to a mental hospital because you had spoken out about the abuse that you were personally subjected to and that you witnessed other kids being subjected to.
That's right, because Moira and myself, although in separate houses, we did everything the same. Everything we did was together. So why was it me? Only, you know, she didn't get put away.
Yeah, but I didn't tell, did I?
No, you didn't tell exactly.
Yeah, I didn't tell about my abuse.
Only to the policeman.
Yeah. But I didn't say we were being abused. I said to him we were being hurt physically, and we were getting beaten and hit. Yeah.
So a policeman came to the home, or did you visit the police?
No. Go on.
When I went to the hospital, a year after I was there, the police came to me to take a statement because they'd caught him abusing.
But when we were at school, there used to be a policeman outside, you know, telling the children, come on, cross the road, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Ray, and we got to talk to him quite a bit, didn't we, when we went to the bus stop to get the 164 bus back home. And we told him that we were being hurt and we were getting hit. And he came to the children's home to speak to the superintendent, Mr. Banner. And then when we got off the bus, we got called into the office and we got caned because we had told this policeman that we were getting physically hurt.
And it wasn't just bend over, you had to pull you.
Nick us down, bend over the desk, and he caned us for telling the policeman.
But he seemed to cane us for
everything.
Yeah, every single little thing, you know.
Incredible. So this is absolute, you know, sort of abuse of power, you know, because you were children.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because when he left, we had his, the one underneath him came, and we were still doing the same things.
Yeah.
But he never caned us.
No, that's straight, didn't he?
That's what you
Yeah.
Oh, so it's him, you know.
Yeah. So Sue was saying when they put her away, the police went and saw her in Epsom
in the hospital.
And she had to give a statement, which was a bit late, but she did eventually give a statement, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then I went and saw her, and we ran away from there.
From the hospital.
Yeah.
She didn't know where I was.
I didn't know where she was until I got told. I don't know how I found out.
No.
You may have wrote to me even.
No, I think I went to Beechholme to see my brothers and saw you.
And you've seen me.
And we ran away to Daventry, and
we run away to a lot of places.
Careful. We were going to get on a plane. We didn't know anything about buying a plane ticket or having a passport, but we was going to go.
Right.
But the policeman came in the toilets.
Yeah.
And caught us.
Yeah. But that's how desperate we were, and I suppose naive, because we didn't have a clue. As I say, we was at the airport and we was going to get on a plane. We thought it was that easy.
Mm-hmm.
But after the police came and took my statement, I never heard any more. And then it was my brother told me that he had got 3 years in prison for what he'd done. So he must have pleaded guilty.
Was it for you, or was it to the two girls?
We don't know.
Who knows?
Because he must have pleaded guilty. So
wait a minute, he got into prison for what precisely?
That's what we're not sure. Whether it was because of Sue, or was it because of the abuse to the two girls? We don't know.
So they retaliated against your family by imprisoning him. But what charges? Under what charges?
We don't know, because we can't find anything to do with him.
Everything about him has disappeared.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
Dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. When did that happen?
No, don't be sorry. He was an
He
abuser. He was an abuser.
Wait. I'm getting confused over here. I thought you were talking about your brother.
Oh, no.
We're talking about the man
who abused her.
She came to Beechholme to see her brothers, and that's how she must have told me where she was. And I went down to see her, and we ran away. But her abuser got 3 years, but we don't know whether it was because of Sue telling about the abuse, Or was
Okay,
it
I get it now.
two girls? Yeah.
There was,
Yeah.
Do you know when he was in prison? Did it happen right around that time period, or was it later?
I don't know. I mean,
It would have been later.
yeah, I got put away in 1971 November. It was in 1972 the police came to me.
So probably 73, 74, when I left.
Yeah. 73.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I say, I didn't know what happened to him. It was my brother who told me that he'd got 3 years in prison.
I see. Okay, so that's where your brother comes in. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed a key part of the story. So, so let's, you know, when you were in the home and your brother tells you this man's been imprisoned, did nothing happen to get you out of this new mental health home that you were stuck in?
No, the thing was, like, I had a lot of family on my maternal side, and I used to go home at weekends, but I was always called names. They wasn't told why I was put there because of the abuse. None of that came out, and I would be called names in that case. Oh, you loony, go back to me. You know, my family sort of
tragic. You know, when families betray you, it's incredible.
Human nature, Ramola. Honestly.
And then I eventually was allowed to leave. My brother and his friend came down to collect me, and I was supposed to go to my grandmother. But it was too late by the time we got there, so I stayed with a friend of his. And we went there, and my grandmother said, "Oh, you can stay for a bit, but then you've got to go." So I was going from family member to family member, and then I met my daughter's dad. Obviously got pregnant, and I went back to my grandmother, who then told me that I wasn't allowed to live there because I was pregnant, and my grandfather.
You were very young, right? You were a teenager.
I was 17.
Same as me.
So I had to leave my grandmother's, but I had nowhere else to go. So I went. There was a big prison by my grandmother's called Warwick Scrubs, and I slept by the wall of the prison because it was in darkness. No one could see me there. You know, and then I just went to my grandmother's one day, and it was wrong, but a letter arrived, and I knew it's from my auntie, and I knew it had money in, so I took it, and I ended up down in Surrey with a friend of mine. I used it to get down there, and I stayed with her for a while, and they put me in a mother and baby home, but they kept sort of insisting that, you know, it'd be better if the baby was adopted.
It's the worst thing.
And things. And I lived sort of rough again for a little while, because I left the mother and baby home, and met someone else, a friend, and she took me in, and I had my baby, like my daughter, you know. And then I moved back to London with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely extraordinary story, Sue. I'm so sorry that you experienced all of that. You know, it's tragic when the families betray you and don't support and provide for you when you are pregnant and obviously need them. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking. But you survived, you went through all of it, and there were people along the way a little bit who helped you here and there, right?
Yeah.
Well, we had each other.
Yeah.
You know, we've all experienced it. Every one of my brothers has lived rough.
Yeah.
You know, but you learn to get on with it. You know, you've got no choice.
Well, the problem is we've got a backbone because of the way we've been brought up. We'll lift our chin up, and we'll put our head high, and our back will go straight, and we will face the world, even if we're dying inside, because that's the way we've had to be. You know, and
you've had to be self-reliant from a very young age.
Yeah, that's it, Ramola. Yeah, definitely.
And
absolutely.
it makes you protective of your own children so much.
Oh God, yeah.
you know.
But sometimes.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So it's kind of a mythology, isn't it? That when people say, "Oh, children who are abused will abuse their kids," etc.
there are them out there that
There
do it.
must
There
be
are
some,
some of those out
yeah.
there, but not everyone, right?
But
No.
not everyone, Ramola. No, more people will go against it
Because they've been
through it. They know how much it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
They would not do that to another child. It's just certain types of people that will carry it on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we've never.
In some cases, you get it where, and I feel ashamed to say this, Ramola, because it really gets to me, where as children you get abused, but how can I explain it?
It's normal.
No, not normal, Sue. You know, when you get the attention and you like it.
Because you get attention.
You're getting the attention.
Oh, you think you're getting some attention that's positive when actually you're being abused.
And
Yeah.
you're loved.
Yeah.
But you don't realise until you're older
that
it was actual abuse.
Mm-hmm. It was
wasn't
exploitation.
love. And since leaving the home, don't you feel that we've been exploited by men like that?
Yes.
Manipulative men.
Yeah.
Want to control us.
Yeah.
Expect us to do everything that they want us to do.
I married
it all my life.
boy.
Yeah.
I married a boy from Beechholme, and he was physically abused. You know, abused me. He abused me. But what it also, being in the home and being in the hospital, and I know Moira feels the same, is that we were petrified of authority. Anybody, even when we had our own children, we were petrified of them because we thought that they would do to our kids what they did to us.
So basically, you were trained to see anybody in a position of authority as somewhat frightening, intimidating, uber powerful, etc.
Yes, of course. And they were though. Yeah. And they still are, Ramola. There's still very powerful people out there that want to shut people up.
Yes, as we know, I mean, I think we all know that the world is in a very bad shape currently, and there are people in power massively misusing their power and, destroying and exploiting people's lives miserably, massively. So, Moira, did you want to talk a little bit about your own story, how you came to Beechholme, what your family background was, and how long you were there?
I was in a family of 8. I'm the 6th. When my sister Carol was born, which was 9 months to a year after me, she was born in 58. She was born in March, so I was June, she was March. So I went into a children's home for a while then, and then 18 months after my birth in 59. My brother Norman was born in October. So then I went into a home again.
Oh, wow.
And then I couldn't go back. I think you've got a bit there. I sent you it, where I had rubella. So I couldn't go back to the children's home. That's the church in the children's home that we have to go to. We had to go every Sunday until the boys in the beach home decided they would burn it down. So we couldn't go again.
I see.
I'm laughing, but everyone hated going to church. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really bad of me to say, but yeah, we hated being dictated to like that. Yeah.
So terrible things were happening at the church?
No, not at the church. No. But we were just made to go. We all marched into that church on Sunday, every Sunday.
I see. So, I mean, there was a lot of regimented action. You were required to do certain things and go to church.
Yes.
So
on Sunday, we had to, certain people would get picked to butter 2 loaves of bread every Sunday, and you had to do that and put them together. There was lots of things that were regimental. we had to go out at the weekend. You used to have to go out and stay out till they said you could come back in. You couldn't come in for the toilet or nothing. There used to be toilets outside in the garden, but that was over in the other house. And we changed houses, but it still was called Willow. But we changed houses when I was about 10, 11, something like that.
So basically it's a group of houses set together in a kind of a colony or a compound?
No, it was
a massive avenue.
Road, yeah.
It was an avenue.
And it had 24 houses.
It had a nursery, infant school, junior school. It had a sick bay, swimming pool, cobblers.
Yeah. Printers.
Printers, ice cream place where we got our ice cream.
Yeah.
Rolls of it. Yeah.
Do you have those photographs, by the way, and those little blueprints that you were showing me yesterday? Maybe.
Yeah, didn't I put it in there? The blueprint of Beechholme.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Beechholme with the an aerial view. And Sue also posted that one with the houses along the blueprint one.
What it was, that if you look at, when you see the aerial view, if you look at the top part of the picture, and then there's a big main road going down. From that main road to the top was Beechholme.
Yeah.
There was
on one side.
Yeah, on one side it completely covered a road, and there was more. There were fields at the bottom as well, which belonged to us.
The top, bottom and top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very big home. It went from Drift Bridge near Epsom Downs to Banstead town, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, we had everything there. You know, the facilities and that, and we had holidays twice. You know, went away
once
for 2
a year.
weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks every year.
But
that wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. No. We didn't get attention. We were just commodities to them.
Yeah. And when we went to high school, like we started same one, we didn't tell people that we was from the children's home.
They knew.
But they knew, and
we had
you could feel
sewn in our clothes. Beechholme Willow.
Yeah.
In your trousers, in your knickers, in your socks.
Yeah. Yeah, and that made us feel.
Yeah.
Different, and people looked at us, oh, they're just, you know, own kids and you know, things like that.
Yeah,
they made you feel bad.
Yeah, they did. And like Sue, when I left the children's home, I became a nanny for a publican. That's Beechholme, the school on Breezy Downs. Yes, see the entrance to the gates.
Yeah, the gates.
Yeah, those are the gates.
Those were the main gates to the entire
the main gate, and the operator for the telephone used to sit in that hut to the right of the gates. That used to be a telephone exchange as well in there.
You used to walk in them gates down a bit.
Yeah, straight down.
The big offices were right in front of you,
and you could go left or right. Yeah,
to the houses.
She
was always at the right. I was at the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this book, you say, is available on Amazon by Jeff Marshall?
No, I think you have to go to Banstead Historic Research Group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will send you it.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad we got a picture up at least. So, you know, Moira and Sue, you have so many memories of this place. What has happened to Beechholme now?
In 74, Willow was the last house to close. They sold it. Wandsworth sold it to a private company.
Yeah.
And when the diggers were there, they found a load of records, supposedly under a basement.
Under basements.
But there were no basements in the children's home.
Oh.
None of the homes had basements, so I think that's a load of porkies.
Because they've destroyed them.
They've destroyed records, people's records.
They've destroyed people's records to prevent people from knowing how many kids were there and for how long and all that?
Yeah, and for maybe how many drugs they gave us, because we still don't know whether...
What actually happened there, because that would trace out the history of what happened there.
Yes, yes.
Conveniently, there were fires. Like me being in the hospital, there's no proof that I was there. But I have found proof that I was there, even though the files had been burnt. And I've just recently found it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So, and they can't deny it.
No.
You know, but even in Wandsworth, old files have disappeared.
You have your own records then of some kind?
I have some of mine, which tells me when I was in care and when I wasn't. And I don't know if I've sent them to you. And it tells me the time I went into care, where I went, who I was with. I went into the Hollies twice before Carol died in the fire. And that's when we were fully went in May 61. She died the 27th of February and we were all put in April. I think it was April, May. We were all put in Beechholme, yeah. But before that, I'd been to Hollies, Chilterns and Heartsleep as well. So I'd gone in a few times to a couple of children's homes before going fully into Beechholme, which was definitely before my 3rd birthday, because as I've shown you, there was me with a 3rd birthday cake.
Yes.
There's Moira, so I know it's me, and that is in the children's home, and it shows you how regimental it is by all their knives, forks, spoons, cups, all on the table, and it's all right-handed, and I'm left-handed.
So am I.
And my brother was left-handed, and we got taught we had to do it with the right hand. But
they were trying to force you to become right-handed.
Yes,
in your house, I didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
So
very regimented in that respect.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate we don't have the photographs, and I'm not able to open everything up that, you know, on my desktop right now. So I'll try to put it in later, or we can do a second show and put it in together, etc. If you have the photographs, feel free to share them up right now if you wish.
Let me see what photograph I got. Do you have that one? This is the willow banner. Oh, sorry, the willow
There we
banner.
go.
The willow banner.
that was
Can
on
you
the
see
sports day.
That's with the sports day.
Okay,
Willow, it's at the back.
I did not see this one, so I haven't been able to open it as yet.
Okay, you've seen this one, Moira?
Yes, you showed this to me yesterday, and this was the birthday cake, right? With all of the plates.
That's me with the auntie behind me there, Auntie Mabs.
Yes, the person over here in front is you, and the person behind is.
Yeah, that's me, and that's Auntie Mabs, Pauline Buyua, and Sandra Owen. And then these two are from the swimming club that I was made to join. And that's me with my mother. I don't know whether that was coming to get us or whether she was leaving us. I don't know. I haven't a clue.
Is that one of the few photographs you have with your mother?
That's basically the only one.
The only one, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting to look at these old photographs and see.
It's strange though, Ramola, that Sue left and she was pregnant at 16. I left, I was pregnant at 16 and I had mine at 17. She had hers at 17.
No, 18.
Oh, you had yours at 18. I was going to say, we were very similar.
A lot of our things
It does sound like it.
Yeah. It's because, Ramola, and I'm not saying everyone has this reason, but I just wanted something to love and to love me back.
Same
of course.
And the child did that. And on my
wonderful
records, I've got, we don't think Moira will make a very good mother.
Oh, yeah.
And then, about a year later, Moira has shown us she is a good mother. But I could have had my child taken off me because of that. The things they wrote were so wrong. Yeah. They didn't even give me a chance. They just said, we don't think she'll make a very good mother. that is dreadful to say.
Yeah.
All I wanted was something to love.
Yeah.
And to love me back.
Yeah. And they classed us all as maladjusted.
Yeah. Disobedient, maladjusted, aggressive, noisy. I've got a psychologist.
And all of this while they were caning you and beating you and abusing you and sending you off to mental health homes and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, abuse of power and sort of unreliable power is what this is. Unreliable authority.
Not only that, Ramola, if they say, oh, this child's very disobedient and doesn't listen to authority and that, people back off. They think, oh, hang on a minute.
It's a terrible stain, isn't it? It's a stigma.
Yes. And people don't want to help because, like mental health, a lot of people go, whoa. But I've been depressed for years. Anxiety attacks, panic attacks, you've had them. I think all people in children's home have them. The depression, because we've had to hide things for so long.
You know, it's like a double whammy. Not merely were you subjected to physical and sexual abuse, you were also character assassinated and smeared. So that you left with a stain on your character, your name, your reputation. And that's a means of discrediting, dismissing, and also continuing to control.
That's it.
And you never feel good about yourself.
No,
you're always lower. Even to this day.
Yeah.
You know,
self-doubt.
Yeah, I feel lower than everybody else. No, everybody's better than me.
That's where I'm different. I think no, they're not better than me, because I've worked for some beautiful people though, and they've helped me. I worked for Joan. Do you know Joan Collins' stepmom?
Oh, wow. Joan Collins, yes.
And Joe Collins, her dad. I worked for their stepmother, Irene Collins, and they have a half-sister called Natasha. And I worked with Irene and Natasha. And I met Joan once when her auntie Pauline died. And so I've had some good people I've met. And I've also known Judith Simons, or Judith Bowen, you may know her as. She worked for the Daily Express. I used to work for her as well. So I've had some good people behind me, and they've helped me with my speech, with my talking. They haven't belittled me. They've really encouraged me. So I do feel a bit better, but I have been getting a lot of depression. And because we're doing this, we're fighting for other people. It's brought it all up.
It's made me, you know, because really you know that I felt.
Absolutely wonderful. It sounds like when you work with good people who can mirror back your true selves to you, you know, you yourselves are encouraged and uplifted.
That's it.
Well, I've got more confidence in myself now since I've been doing this, because it's, you know, I'm doing something to help other people. To help them children come and tell us, let us know what's going on, and we'll fight for you. We'll stand for you.
It's absolutely marvelous. You know, in a sense, you've turned around the entire experience of your childhood, because you are really helping children now, today. So, you know, I have to say there's so much. I could keep speaking with you forever, but we should probably bring this show to a close. So what advice would you have for children out there who might be watching this, or for parents of children who are in difficult situations and don't know how to reach their children, whose children have suffered abuse, you know, through the care system?
Please find a way. Find a way to let someone you definitely trust know that something bad's happening. Please just speak out to one person, but make sure that they do not tell your abuser or the person that is hurting you. Don't let them let you go back there until they know you will be safe, because it's no good. Like when my daughter was abused, she told me, and I went to the police, and the police said to me, don't tell your husband, let him live there still while we investigate. What? Are you mad? I am not letting my daughter go near that man. No way. He's going. He's out. No. Get them away from their abuser straight away.
Don't stay silent.
Don't stay silent.
Stay silent.
Please.
Yes.
Get this out.
And
Yeah.
you know, there's a huge issue also with the police, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, as we know today, and this comes to how CPS and the police are working together,
Yeah.
and how
And MI5, MI6.
and MI5, MI6, and then moving on up the ladder to, you know, members of
Yes.
parliament and so
Yes.
forth. And that's in the UK, and over here it's, you know, with the congressman and with the state
Yeah.
government and so forth. There's all of these underground pedo rings and whatnot.
Yeah.
So to sort of get away from that, or stay away from that entire horrific crime network, women who are being abused, women who are in situations of abuse, or who see their kids being abused, what would be your advice to them? Would it be to go to the police or not go to the police?
No. Go to someone you can trust. That will help you. That your husband or the abuser, whoever it is, does not know where you're going. Don't let them know. You need to get away from it and get yourself sorted so you can be strong to fight back. You need to be able to fight back. You can't if you stay where you are and carry on being abused.
Yeah,
you just need to go.
I was abused by my first husband, and after 4 years he gave up. He didn't hit me on the 5th year, which was like our 5th anniversary. And I just left. I'd had enough then, and I left.
The trouble is there isn't many places, because if you have an abuser, what they normally do is try and get you away from your families and your friends, so you're left with hardly anyone. And that is how they get
rely
you.
on them.
So, you know,
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Don't give up your family and friends. Do not give them up, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because that's what abusers and controllers want you to do.
Yeah.
They want you to break away, from your family.
They want you to be away from family and friends.
So you just rely on them.
Yeah.
And you need them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we don't need anyone now.
No. We're old enough now.
Yeah.
No, and you are setting up this wonderful network to help others. So it sounds like you are, you know, as we said starting out this broadcast, you are helping people find a safe space and sanctuary with you and with others like you.
If we can save one person.
I'd rather save more, but I'd rather, if we can save one at least. But we need more. We need to save.
Brilliant.
We've got a lot of support.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the same position. You know, as I say, Warriors is simply amazing.
Michael Tarraga. Amazing.
I mean, people should buy his book, because that is.
What is the name of his book? We can talk.
Meet
Rack Boy.
Meet Rack Boy. Michael Tarraga. Okay.
Yeah. It is. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, but it's honest.
Yeah, very honest.
And people will be so shocked at what's in it.
So people need to kind of, you know, wake up to understand these realities.
Get their heads out the sand and look at reality.
The trouble is, it's very hard for people to actually understand and to get it out there, because it's heartbreaking to have to listen to what has happened to children and to believe it, because a lot of people think, oh no, that's not true, that's, you know, but it is true, and it's still going on. And you need to open your eyes and see that, you know, there is no justice for these children unless they can come forward and be helped. Then they can start being healed and we can give them justice. Until then, we're not going to.
And we do try and reach out when we go to Parliament. Yeah. You know, we go out with our leaflets and they just put their heads down. Yeah. Don't want to.
Some of them do, don't they?
Yeah. And one day, not recently, we was there and we had the Brexit there and the Remainers there. And I don't know who offered this bloke. Kes had offered this man.
One of our other boys from Beechholme had offered this man
a leaflet.
A leaflet.
No, not that one.
Oh.
Not that one. And the bloke come past, he said, "What's it about? Is it about remaining?" They said, "No, it's about childhood abuse." He said, "Well, I ain't bloody interested then."
You do get that.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, and we're never rude to anybody, you know. They're rude to us. You know, they look down on you, and they do look down on you.
They do.
You know,
it's like you're back in the children's home. They sort of like look down on you, but we're adults, so we're not going to let them.
you know,
we'll just be
No, and always think of them also as a small portion of people who, you know, simply don't know any better. There are so many people behind you and supporting you. I can bet you anything people watching this will be so proud of you.
Thank
and
you.
grateful for what you're doing.
We're grateful to you, Ramona, for actually willing and listening to do something for us. A lot of people hide because they're too scared to come forward because of the repercussions.
And we get
like Melanie Shaw, her repercussion, bless
Oh,
her.
yeah, we.
Rampton, and they're not letting her have any letters, any money, any posts.
You know, her story is outrageous, and I absolutely have to cover it soon.
You must. Michael Tarrager,
even Warriors,
Sandy Smith
from Warriors,
Melanie Shaw,
Sabine McNeil as well.
Yes. There's loads, honestly, and we're just a tiny amount. I mean, it's massive. And when you open this can, it's gonna come tumbling out, and there's gonna be no stopping it. And I just feel sorry for this world because it is such a sad world. And it really is.
We get no media coverage whatsoever.
No,
none at all.
Well, I hope that will change in the sense that the new media and what I see as the true media, you know, will begin to cover you and continue to cover you as, you know, this podcast goes out, and also Anna Bree's podcast goes out, which we should, you know, share widely as well. So we do this step by step, we hope, you know, because the old media, the mainstream media, has failed all of us. They've not published the real stories of import.
No,
that's right. It only publishes what they want us to see. Not what is going on in the world,
real
really.
World,
These stories are so important to hear, and this is why I thank you again so much for coming forward, Moira and Sue. Do you have a website you'd like to share with people today?
Yes, we have. Where's the Beechholme one?
We're at Beechholme Warriors.
Yeah, Beechholme Warriors at
no, Beechholme 57 at gmail.com.
Yeah, Beechholme, BEECHHOLME 57 at gmail.com.
That's our web.
Beechholme Warriors,
That's your email address, it sounds like.
Oh, is it?
When you use the @ that's, you know, email address.
Yeah, Jeff's. We've only got our web page. You know, the one that I invited you to, our group one.
That's all we've got.
Jeff is going to sort a web.
Oh, okay. He's going to sort it out. I'll ask him. Yeah.
We're not very computer literate.
No worries. Yeah, I'll find out and, you know, post whatever links I can get.
Sorry, Ramola. I thought you meant that one.
No, that's all right. That's your email. So you know, if you want people to contact you, I guess they could use that, right?
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Right. But please, if your viewers are listening, please read Michael Tarrager's book. Please read it because
it's amazing. He's a lovely man. Honestly, we met him, and he is wonderful.
Yeah. And what
actually sent Ramola what he wrote about us when we met him. Yeah.
Oh, please do. Yes. Yeah, I definitely want to read his book. Yeah, and I think you told me yesterday it's on Amazon. So this particular book is on Amazon. Yeah. The other Beechholme book we showed
is on the front of it. Yeah, Beechholme Research Group.
Beechholme Research Group.
Sorry,
the Jeff Marshall book, yeah?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
All right, brilliant. So there you have it, everybody. So we have some resources to look at currently, and you know, I'll stay tuned to whatever Moira and Sue wish to send my way, and you know, help keep people informed. And Moira and Sue, you're welcome to come back again when you have something to report.
Thank you. Well,
Thank
we're
Yes.
all out in August
As soon
at a big
as-
rally.
Yeah.
We're doing a big rally in August where everyone hopefully will be down and we will be heard.
And if
Brilliant.
ones were
I'm sure Jeff
respond-
will cover that, but you know, when we get the footage, etc., I'd be happy to
Oh,
share
what's
with my channel.
That
Yeah.
sounds awful. And if Wandsworth respond,
We'll let you know.
we'll let you know what they say.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So thanks so much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here
We
for
appreciate
this
it
great
so
conversation. We'll
Thank
talk to
you
you very
very
soon.
much.
Thanks, everyone.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.